Our weekly Sunday night Zoom chat with our analyst Jonathan Hutton of Titans Radio. Jay Hutt, Logan Ryan did a lot for the Titans defense. Now that he's officially headed elsewhere, where do you think his absence will be most felt?
It's in the nuance of the position, Steve, and I've said that a lot recently. What I mean by that is that the veteran mentality that he would bring, knowing when to blitz, when to bring coverage, who he's facing, and where. There's a nuance to the slot corner, the nickelback position, that gets overlooked sometimes. And while a rookie like Fulton can come in and learn the position, it will take time. And so that veteran mentality that Logan Ryan brought to the defense, that will be the toughest part to replace.
Before we finish the chapter about Logan Ryan's days with the Titans, I want to get your thoughts on the legacy he leaves behind. Because believe me, there is a legacy, despite the fact he was only here for 3 years, because of what he did on the field and off the field with his wife, Ashley.
A leader on and off the field. And you could say that a lot about some of the players that have been in and out of the organization. But Logan Ryan was brought in to bring a championship mentality from New England to the Tennessee Titans and help transform that defense into one that was tough to face week in and week out. And the secondary was not good whenever he joined the team 3 years ago. And when you look at it now becoming the strength of the defense in some cases week to week, he helped a lot in those efforts. And then off the field, what he did to the community, he and his wife Ashley immersed themselves into their Ryan Animal Rescue Foundation, and that took off like wildfire, and they continue to give back through that organization for the Humane Society. One thing I never heard about Logan Ryan that I hear about players year in and year out is, man, that guy's overpaid for his production. Never heard that about Logan Ryan, even though he was making $10 million a year.
Yeah, Titans got their money's worth on that free agent contract. Another fixture in the organization is also saying goodbye. Longtime president and CEO Steve Underwood announced this week he's retiring from a full-time role. Underwood's been with the Oilers Titans franchise for 40 years and was actually coaxed out of retirement back in 2011 to come back into the role of president. He'll be replaced by Burke Nihill, formerly the team's vice president and chief legal officer, who helped lead the team's efforts to secure the 2019 NFL Draft. Jonathan, Underwood's been around this team for a long time and helped the franchise get through a couple of rough spots. What do fans need to remember about Steve Underwood?
Steve Underwood was all about making sure that the Tennessee Titans were successful on and off the field. He was loyal to the Adams family, both through Bud Adams and his daughter, Amy Adams Strunk. And, you know, he was there from the Oilers days where he would help negotiate contracts for Bud Adams. He handled that department in Houston, to being the team president and CEO, and as you just mentioned, helping get the train back on the tracks whenever ownership and the controlling ownership went to Amy Adams Strunk. He has really been someone that they could lean on as a family in any aspect of the organization, whatever it needed. And Underwood did a great job as the team president and CEO. He will be missed because, again, he was all Oiler and all Titan.
All right, hang tight. We'll get your early thoughts on the 2020 season coming up.
So now that Jonathan Joseph is officially a Titan, could Jadeveon Clowney be far behind? Well, the two were teammates with the Texans, and both are natives of Rock Hill, South Carolina. Now, the Titans have reportedly made numerous offers to the free agent edge rusher, but Joseph says he's not planning on playing matchmaker
I'm connecting the dots here.
Sure you are.
Everybody, their own individual, make their own decisions. He's obviously a free agent, things like that. So, I just kind of stand back, and if advice is asked from me, I would give my input. But other than that, you have to let everyone make their own decisions, because when you put that jersey on and go out there on that field, you have to live with, everything that comes with it.
While we wait for Jadeveon Clowney, no more waiting as far as the 2020 NFL schedule is concerned. It is out, and the NFL looks locked and loaded on playing a full season on time come the second week of September.
That is great news for all of us. And for the Titans, we wondered coming off the AFC Championship game appearance how the schedule makers would view this team, JB, and they get rewarded with a primetime game right away. Week 1, Monday Night Football at Denver, where they'll face former Titan Jarrell Casey. The Pro Bowl defensive tackle was traded to the Broncos in March and tweeted the schedule release with the note that, quote, Week 1 is real special. It'll be the second straight year the Titans go to Denver. Marcus Mariota was benched in a 16-0 loss last year.
Week 2 is the home opener against the AFC South rivals, the Jacksonville Jaguars. The team Derrick Henry has absolutely owned the past couple of years at home.
So off to Minnesota to face the Vikings Week 3 in the Titans' first ever game at beautiful U.S. Bank Stadium.
Week 4 starts a 3-game October homestand for the Titans against the Steelers and the returning Ben Roethlisberger. Week 5 brings the Bills back to Nissan Stadium for a second straight year. Remember, they escaped with a 14-7 win here last year. The Texans come to town in Week 6, part of a brutal early season schedule for Houston.
After taking their bye in Week 7, the Titans head to Cincinnati to face number 1 pick Joe Burrow and the Bengals before returning home for 2 games in 5 days. First, the Bears come to town for the first time since 2012 when they drank Broadway dry. And then it's a Thursday night football showdown with the Colts and new QB Phillip Rivers.
Maybe the most anticipated game on this year's schedule. November 22nd, Titans return to Baltimore to face the Ravens in a rematch of their divisional round win from January. And that's followed by a second game against the Colts in 17 days. Titans will look to win in Indy for the second straight year.
It's back home to start December against the Browns team. The Titans clobbered 43-13 in Cleveland in the season opener last year.
Back to the road for Week 14. Titans head to Jacksonville, where they've had a 2-game winning streak snapped last season. Then they host the Lions, coached by another former Patriot and Matt Patricia. Steve, stand up straight.
Thank you, JJ. The season ends with back-to-back road games. First is just the team's second Sunday night football game in a decade on the frozen tundra of Lambeau Field. And then comes another Week 17 showdown in Houston, where Henry, of course, clinched the NFL rushing title and a playoff berth last year. Here's what jumped out about the schedule to Mike Vrabel.
As the head coach, I'm not going to do that and start counting and saying, well, this is a tough game. We've all been in the NFL a lot of years, 20 years for me, and they're all tough. And when you play well, you have a chance to win. And when you don't play well, I guarantee that you're going to lose.
We bring Jonathan Hutton back in now for a way too early look at the 2020 schedule and get some predictions here. And fellas, I tell you what, I like this schedule. The Titans are listed as an underdog in Denver in Week 1. Eerily reminiscent to me of last year, Week 1 in Cleveland. Everybody thought the team, new weapons on offense, quarterback not elite, but this offense is going to kick into high gear. Everybody's on the Browns. Now they're on the Broncos. I think the Titans win that game, and if they do, I could see them potentially be 8-1 by the time they go to Baltimore in late November. I've got the Titans ultimately finishing 11-5, winning in Houston in Week 17 again, this time for a division title.
Well, that's pretty ambitious, Steve, and I can see why you have such optimism about this season. Looking at this schedule, a couple of games I'm looking at. October 4th against the Steelers. Folks, you better get there early or those Steeler fans will drown you out. And I'm also looking at the Browns December 6th. What kind of Browns team are we going to see? Are they going to be better than what we saw last year, or are they going to be team turmoil again? I'm looking at 5 road games out of the last 7. I'm going to go 10-6, a little bit under your prediction, but certainly double-digit wins. Hutton, what say you?
I love the positivity, John, and I'm sticking with it. I'm looking at the front stretch of this schedule. They had no margin for error last year. Were able to pull it off with a great run, but they lost some AFC games early in order to have them have to win those games down the stretch. 5 of their first 6 are in the AFC this year. 4 of those 5 are at home. I do think they get off to a much better start this year on their schedule. I have them going 10-6, getting into the playoffs and doing some damage there as well. And if they start off hot, they don't have to go into that stretch with Baltimore, needing to win those crucial AFC matchups. AFC South matchups, yes, but it's not imperative if they can start off strong at home.
Shocking. Not a single one of us took 9-7 again after 4 straight 9-7 seasons.
Enough of that.
Jonathan Hutton, thanks so much for your time, my friend.
Always great to see you guys.